Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today is Thursday, so we've got Johnny coming straight at you. All the noise about Bitcoin ETF and will that raise all ships? We're going to talk about that and talk to you about staying safe in these crypto markets right after this. Hey, Johnny, welcome back. Great to see you.
Lisa, what's up? What's up, everybody out there? How's everybody doing?
It is very good. The sun is shining. It's trying to get a little bit warmer. We're in that first week of November. I love the whole remember the 5th of November. Today's Thursday. They didn't announce a raise in interest rates yesterday from the Fed, which kind of surprised me. I know everybody else was saying, "Oh, we knew they weren't going to," but I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen.
No one knows.
Nowadays. Yeah.
No.
Things are crazy, but there is a lot of noise about them approving a Bitcoin ETF. And my thought, and I could be totally wrong, maybe you have more information on this, is once they approve one, many will be approved because it's the process of doing it or whatever. Is that
I heard they're supposed to approve several at once.
Okay.
They're not going to give favoritism to any one Bitcoin ETF. Hold on to your hats, as they say, because we're seeing the Bitcoin price rise pretty rapidly. We pulled back a little bit today after a pump last night, but we're at 35. We're just under 35,000. I think I just checked the price. It was 34,922. We're going up the way we're supposed to be going up. We're going up, we're selling off a little bit. We're going back up, we're selling off a little bit. Bitcoin's being heavily accumulated right now. I don't think people understand the supply shock that's coming. These ETFs, first of all, they have to buy all the Bitcoin in order to have the ETF and sell it. There's going to be a flood of buying just from the general public once this is announced. Then obviously these products are going to be popular, so they're going to keep having to accumulate more and more Bitcoin. They are not going to be able to purchase all this Bitcoin over the counter. They're going to have to purchase it off of exchanges. There's not enough Bitcoin going around.
Man, that's going to be dangerous for people that leave their cryptos on exchanges, because what's happened in the past is then you get panicked or go to try to pull your Bitcoin off or your cryptos off, and they're like, "Oh, we can't for 7 days or 14 days or whatever," because they literally don't keep it, because they trade within exchanges to keep each other afloat.
Yeah,
there is I mean, it's a scarce.
As we say, get your crypto off the exchanges, especially if you, well, for a couple of reasons. One, when your Bitcoin or your crypto is on an exchange, that's an account that's online. It can be hacked and your crypto can be easily sent out of there. Two, when the market goes nuts, you're not going to be able to access it. So if you want access to your Bitcoin, you certainly don't want it on an exchange with what we're going into. You want it in a secure wallet. I think when the Bitcoin ETF's announced, we're going to see an instant move to $50,000 per Bitcoin, 50 to 55,000. I always felt like
new all-time high, right?
Well, new all-time high would be 69,000. I think we're going to go to a new all-time high quickly after that. But I think in my mind, I think it was 54,000. Maybe it's a little less now because a few more Bitcoin have been mined. But $54,000 equated to about a $1 trillion market cap. Maybe now it's like a $53,000 price. You got to remember, every day they mine more Bitcoins. That means the price would be a little lower because there's a little more Bitcoin that are in circulation. So when you determine that market cap, but I've always felt like that was kind of like a fair market value for Bitcoin. Like it should be $1 trillion asset. But
But as they're printing more dollars,
Fiat, yeah.
fiat, does that raise that as well?
Oh, well, I think the price with the price is going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars because of a few factors. All these ETFs are going to create incredible demand. Now, you're talking about now a flood of capital. Actually, Greg K's in the chat. Me and Greg have been talking a lot about Bitcoin, the ETF, BlackRock, Fidelity, all these institutions. I think Greg told me last night BlackRock has 40 million accounts across the world, or 43 million people have BlackRock accounts.
Wow.
If half of those people, half of those accounts want to buy Bitcoin, they can't even buy one full Bitcoin each. And we're talking about, I'm telling you, in the future, a tenth of a Bitcoin is going to be out of reach for most people. Now, if you talk about a Bitcoin price of, say, $500,000, 500,000, which I feel like Bitcoin's easily going to go to that in the next cycle. I don't know if it's going to hit $1 million. I think it's going to hit $1 million a coin after the next the halving after this one. So like by the 2028 halving. I'd say for sure by the end of the decade, you're going to have a Bitcoin price that hits $1 million per coin. But I'd say we probably could hit half a million in this next cycle. And now you're talking about a market cap of maybe $9 trillion. That's similar to the market of gold, maybe a little bit smaller, but they're going to keep printing more fiat. So those market caps you got to remember, as they print more fiat, it has to go somewhere. And now you're talking about, look, you're talking about an asset that gold and silver, there's one ETF. The fact that there's multiple ETFs, that in my mind is great, because there's going to be choice, there's going to be competition, and we could validate this stuff. How do you validate SLV? Oh, SLV, yeah, JP Morgan or whoever, they bought the silver, they sold the silver. This person, we don't know. They could just say, hey.
Yeah, Germany tried to validate the gold one time, and you know what happened to them.
We don't know. We can't validate any of this stuff. And Bitcoin, we can. We could see it on the blockchain. Did they move it? Where's the transaction? Let's audit the blockchain and see. So we are going to see incredible demand, even if 0.5% of this institutional money goes into Bitcoin. And obviously, I think that, look, the stock market hasn't went up in 2 years. It stayed flat or went down. It's actually went down from its peak a couple of years ago. It's down probably about 10 or 15%.
Yeah, and especially if you factor in inflation, then that's exponential. That's the
Down more
tax
than
that
that.
nobody sees. That's
the bond market's gotten killed, even though people say, well, U.S. Treasuries went up. Bonds work inverse. Remember, as the yield on a bond goes higher, it means less people are buying them. As more people buy bonds, the yield drops and goes down.
I heard something, gosh, maybe it was last week or this week, that they also changed where they used to always say buy, and I may get this backwards, 10-year bonds. Now they're saying you have to buy a 30-year bond. Or is it
30
vice
years.
versa?
I mean, that sounds kind of nuts. I mean, anything over
That's what they're talking about, though, now
Yeah.
in the bond market, is that to get your yield on your 30-year bond, because of how upside down it is right now.
Why would you buy a 30-year bond when the yield curve's inverted? A 1-year bond or the short-term bonds, we're paying more than the 10-year bond. So why wouldn't you just risk your money for 6 months or 1 year, then risk it for 10 years or 30 years? It doesn't make a lick of sense. And we always see an inverted yield curve when we are in recessions. And we've had this inverted yield curve now for a while. And it's just that they have more funny money floating around and they play around more. So it's easier to manipulate us, I guess, than it was in the past. So Greg K, what do you say? BlackRock, Fidelity, et cetera, 7 or 8 ETFs. Their salespeople and agents have been trained to hit the road running on the day they start training. Yeah. He's 100% day they start trading. Yeah. He's 100% right. And, you know, we're talking about endowments, companies. You got to realize Bitcoin is great that it's a currency, and Bitcoin's a technology. It's a network for we, the people, to use, for the people of the world to use. But it's not an easy asset for investment funds and things to own because of the currency aspect of it. So an ETF does give them a lot of access to doing. What about even like trust for your kids or something like, say you want a life insurance policy to go into a trust. Well, you could have the trust now buy the Bitcoin ETF upon your death if that was a beneficiary. That's a whole nother, I mean, not to be morbid, but that is a real use case of it. So there's a lot of capital that couldn't access Bitcoin before that can now. So we have that at play. We have the demand just from these ETFs buying. We have the public demand that's all going to be buying. And then we have the halving. Yeah. There's going to be half as much Bitcoin in the halvings in 161 days. There's going to be a Bitcoin halving. So we're going to see a Bitcoin price of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So on a $500,000 Bitcoin, a tenth of a Bitcoin is $50,000. How many people do you know out there that can take $50,000 and buy something like Bitcoin with it right now? Not many people.
Not many people. There's over 6% or more, I can't remember the number, of people that are walking away from their cars because they can't afford to pay for them, because they bought them when they were, priced in at 10% or 10 grand over sticker. And they're just like, and the market's terrible, economy's in the toilet. Thanks, Joe Biden. And, we're in this situation. So yeah, there's not an extra 50 grand laying around for everyone.
Honestly, most of the public, if they can get their hands on, in the future, 0.05 Bitcoin, they're going to be lucky. That's 1/20th of a Bitcoin. Because even on a $500,000 Bitcoin price, that's $25,000. Well, now I'm talking about that in pretty much in today's money. Now, we can talk about what if there's a hyperinflationary period. Well, that could give a Bitcoin price of millions of dollars, but I'm talking about today's purchasing power, taking into account the current rate of inflation. So we're not in hyperinflation yet. Remember, true hyperinflation is marked as prices rising 50% month over month. So we haven't seen, things were bad. We had heavy inflation. We might have had hyperinflation a couple months in certain commodities or products, but we didn't have true hyperinflation yet. Not like Weimar Germany, not like Zimbabwe had. Venezuela has an inflation rate of 492% annual. Even that's a little short of a technical hyperinflation.
It's in Cliff High's data about people wanting to get paid like throughout the day, I think. Because the inflation was going so fast, that if you got paid in the morning, it was worth more than if you got, you want to hurry and spend it at lunch, because if you waited till the end of the day, it's worth less or whatever. And that's that hyperinflation period. The other thing I wanted to mention was that there's contracts for future mined Bitcoin that may not be being calculated into this, or that we should mention as well. There are contracts that people have with miners for Bitcoin that hasn't even happened yet, that's already locked up and committed.
Yeah.
So that's even more, adds to the scarcity even more.
Typically Bitcoin, so Bitcoin mining is a business. Their customers are exchanges. So as they mine Bitcoin, business as usual says they sell to the Coinbases, the PayPals, the Binances, the Kraken, all these different exchanges of the world, right? Now, I heard that they're getting bridge loans and they're holding the Bitcoin because obviously if they know an asset is going to rise in price, you're going to do anything in your power to hoard it and hold it and sell it at a higher price. If you're mining Bitcoin at 35,000 and you have data showing, hey, the price is going to be 200,000 in 6 months or 9 months. Well, gee, let me try to do anything in my power to hold it till then and sell it then,
Right.
rather than sell it now at $35,000. So that's going to also create more shortage. So you really want to play this right. You do not want to be swapping Litecoin right now for Bitcoin. This is really important for me to get out there. So it's tempting because a lot of people say, no, Litecoin's not doing anything right now. Use your Litecoin as a fuel to get more Bitcoin, right? Remember, two reasons why. One, Litecoin's extremely undervalued compared to Bitcoin. You're going to, at some point, there's going to be a Litecoin ETF. It's not going to take much news or stuff for Litecoin for the price to rapidly rise. It's more thinly traded than Bitcoin. It's not as liquid as Bitcoin. So
yeah, and you can look at what happened with Grayscale. The Bitcoin thing happened, Litecoin right behind it.
Yep, 100%. So you're going to see Litecoin explode. It's just a question of, it's like being a sniper. If you pop your head out and you didn't get your target yet, well, guess what? You're going to get shot. You're not going to make it. So you want to hold your Litecoin. You want to swap at an opportune time and then use your Litecoin as fuel to get more Bitcoin. The other thing is too, now say right now, both assets go up 10 times. Say Bitcoin goes to $350,000 or Litecoin goes to $690. That would be a 10-time move for both assets. You would rather have Litecoin at that moment in time had you put fiat dollars in now. Now you're going to make the same amount of fiat, get the same fiat gain, but your Litecoin is going to be a lot more usable. If Bitcoin goes to $350,000 and we're really in that kind of frenzy, a Bitcoin transaction might be hundreds of dollars to do one transaction. It's not going to be that usable. The network might be congested. It might take days to clear. You don't know. Remember, Bitcoin, the network can only handle so much throughput. Litecoin could handle 4 times as much throughput as Bitcoin can. It clears 4 times, and that's on chain. MWeb could handle even more throughput. MWeb gives you a layer of privacy. So you're going to want to have Litecoin for that moment in time. You might say at that moment in time, Litecoin goes to $690. Hey, I want to buy 1,000 ounces of silver. Well, if silver, say silver's at $30 by then, so 1,000 ounces of silver would be $30,000. Litecoin's at $690. You could take about 45 Litecoins or so and buy 1,000 ounces of silver. Mm-hmm. That's not a bad move. That's a better move than cashing out into fiat. What about gold? You can buy, for probably 80 or 90 Litecoins, you could probably get your hands on 30 ounces of gold at that moment in time. So you're better off looking at those ratios, doing a move like that. But you're going to be, here's the other thing too. Say you want to buy gold or silver with your crypto at that moment in time. You say, hey, I don't want fiat. I want to get a hard asset. Gee, Johnny, that sounds like a good idea. Buy some silver, buy some gold when Litecoin or Bitcoin pumps. Well, are you going to trust somebody enough where you're going to send $60,000 or $50,000 to one gold dealer for your gold? I would, if I was buying 30 ounces of gold and Litecoin went to $690, I'd say, well, I want to buy it from 10 different sites. I want to minimize my risk. What if one of them doesn't have the gold or silver? What if a package gets lost? What if the fucking, what if shit hits the fan and I sent my transaction and shit hits the fan that night and all deliveries are stopped, all UPS is stopped, all there's major disruption in the system. I'd want to know, hey, whoa, I divided this up into 10 transactions. I mitigated my risk. I don't want to do one transaction. So Litecoin's gonna allow you to be a lot more, I guess it makes sense. Light on your feet. It's Litecoin. You're going to be a lot more nimble.
Dad joke.
Be nimble with Mimble Wimble.
Yeah. All the dad jokes. My husband just sent me a video. And there's been all this noise. I was going to do a video the other day, but I've just been not in a mood, but sorry for that. But I've been posting and trying to kind of mention it. There's been all this talk about November 3rd. We know we've been in a couple different, like that Diwali was yesterday, I think, Holy Day, or maybe it was Day of the Dead. I think today's Day of the Dead.
Yep.
We had Halloween. There's been some of these days, and there's been something on my son's Fortnite game, which has had a lot of comms on it. About November 3rd. And in November 3rd, chapter 4, season 5, or chapter 5, season 4, I can't remember, but it's like 45. Something happens and they go time travel back to chapter 1, and everybody's been freaked out about it and all this. My husband just sent me a video of a guy who's a veteran. This is from the Hal Turner radio show. And it says U.S. Air Force VIP planes going to and from Cheyenne Mountain, doomsday bunker. Government's going underground. Not sure what to make of this, but just posted. This was posted in a veterans forum. The guy in the brief video seems very nervous and reports 8 VIP aircraft headed into Cheyenne Mountain. NORAD says they're putting government in bunkers. His voice is clearly trembling as he describes what's going on. Looks legit, but I've not verified these claims. If he knows, I should know. So I'm going to play it real quick.
Hey, what's up, guys? I just went live. I just want to show you guys. Since I was on live with you guys, here's 6 more flights. No, I'm sorry, 8 more flights.
8 more.
Right here. They have taken off. They are en route to Cheyenne Mountain to the doomsday bunker. There is a government. The doomsday plane was taken off 45 minutes ago. And there's a command and control plane. See it over here? There is a nuclear command and control plane that just taxied and took off 22 minutes ago. So you guys, they're putting the government underground.
Just to tie that in, there's the case right now where they are threatening to take Trump off the ballot in Colorado. I was watching some of that court case. It was actually really entertaining. Kash Patel did a great job testifying there. But it is a situation where, like, you could see a We the People thing happen. And remember Cliff's data about, or was it the remote viewers where they thought they saw the thing that you have been saying might happen? And they could see a picture of like land and then like a big thing up.
I think it's going to be a false flag, but just because it's a false flag doesn't mean
it still has effects.
And not to mention, they could actually do it. It could be a false flag that they did, and it really happened. So I would definitely.
And Gavin's been over hanging out with President Xi.
Yeah.
Pelosi got subpoenaed.
Just to be safe, I would get some potassium iodide tablets and just have them. I don't think they're going to do anything on the mainland U.S. And I also don't think they're going to shut down anyone's internet or power. The reason being,
that's how they control us.
Yeah. That's how they control us. So they need us tuned into TikTok and social media and all this stuff so they can keep controlling us. If they take that stuff down and people band together, they lost control. That's not good for business for them. So I can't see something happen on the mainland US. It doesn't mean it won't. I just don't see it happening. I see them saying that
Alaska, though.
Alaska is where I
You
think,
can walk to Russia from Alaska.
and
And there's not a lot of
Alaska's
people.
so sparse.
And it's huge. It's way bigger than Texas. We were just learning about Alaska this
Oh,
week in
it's
homeschool.
a couple times bigger than
It's
Texas.
huge.
Alaska's half the size of the lower 48.
Of the lower 48
half the
incomplete.
size of the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
I mean, they could just tell us
Mhm.
something happened in
We'd never
Alaska.
know.
How would we ever know?
No, we wouldn't.
And
Show us some AI pictures. We'd never know.
show us AI pictures and then restrict our movements and then put out, oh, people are going into bunkers, this and that, and yada, yada, yada. And
Also, my friend that has the military banking app had a meeting yesterday, which I've never seen her do, a Zoom meeting app for all the bankers, and said they need to, how did she word it? Move immediately, or banking is going to change quickly. And they all needed to be watching this, come to this meeting of hers. So I don't know. I mean,
remember my thoughts on they want to push out a CBDC,
Yeah.
but they need to do it in a way where the public's unaware. And I told you, mark my words, they're going to do it where it's another account within your current bank account. They're going to let the banks run quarterback this whole thing. They're going to connect it to a Visa card. Most likely it's going to be digital, so they don't have to send out the Visa cards. They load it in your Apple Wallet in your phone. That's going to be a cashless account. It's going to be the CBDC. You're going to be able to transfer your fiat money into that. They're probably going to give you an incentive and give you more interest or a bonus to go into that account. You're not going to be able to pull cash out of it. And they're going to be able to see every transaction, but it's going to be, you're going to be able to spend through the Visa network. And you got to realize you have to realize what's possible.
Oh, also, for the first time Cannon is just turned 13. For the first time in 13 years, the state paid the adoption subsidy on time. I usually don't get the adoption subsidy till I don't know, the 12th or the 15th of the month, in this account that my ex and I share, and then we both take half and use it for Canon or whatever. And I got a notification that it hit today. And I was like,
when do they ever pay early? That's weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's strange. That is strange. So I always say, be ready for anything. Keep your eyes open. Remember, they're planning on things that we've never thought about. And
remember that wars are about banking. This is not about what they're telling you it's about. No. So when people are like, well, I don't understand. Why do you think that has to do with CBDCs, or why would that affect my banking? Because it's all about money. It's all about control. It's about the slavery system that we've been entrapped in for so many years. And it's about us breaking out of it.
People get confused with me too, because they ask me what I think's going on. And I bring up, I say, the bond market's blowing up. There's going to be what they call sovereign debt crisis. And they say, well, what does that have to do with? I said, that's have everything to do with it. All wars are banker wars, and everything's about money and
moving money, washing money through.
Yeah. Look what happened before COVID. There was the whole repo market debacle, and they couldn't get that under control.
And COVID was to slow it down. What was happening? Because it was happening too fast, because it was out of control.
It was out of
losing control.
Coincidentally, COVID fixed it all, because they needed to create the phenomenon where they where
It's
they
helicopter money.
slowed the velocity of money
Mm-hmm.
and they printed money. That's a phenomenon that can't exist in a normal world. So what better way than a virus that creates that phenomenon where both things occur simultaneously. So yeah, so it's just be ready
So
for anything.
with this happening, I mean, I know we got to run here pretty soon, but like, what's the safest way? We know we talk about having crypto or your assets in your possession, having food for your family. You mentioned the potassium, what was it called?
Iodide, yeah.
Iodide. Thinking about those things. Have a water filter. You can get one on Bix's website. He's got Berkey, a link for Berkey water filters. There's Westwood is in the chat. If you go to clintwestwood.net, he's got links for a bunch of really great resources. Check all those things out. Make sure you're thinking about your family, protecting your family, all that. But what's the safest way to hold your crypto? Because like we just talked about how there's a scarcity and exchange. You can't keep it on an exchange because if somebody goes to pull it off and you've got it sitting in your exchange account, they're going to take yours.
You want a hardware wallet. You want either a Ledger or a Trezor. And there's a lot of hardware wallets. The reason I recommend either of those devices is because they're the most audited devices. They're the devices that the crypto community, the Bitcoin geniuses out there that build things, they're constantly trying to break into those devices and audit them for flaws. That's a good thing. That's a benefit, not a weakness. So you want to go with what's either one of those two devices. They're both very popular. They both have tons of eyes on them. And I would always say wait if they have an update that comes out. Don't be the first guy doing the update. Let a couple days pass. Yeah. See, there could be a bug in the update. So let it get out there on Twitter and let people say, hey, if you don't hear anything after a few days or a week, update your device, update your software. But you got to realize, you keep a laptop offline. That's good. You shut it offline. It's not exposed to the internet. But when you turn it online, if you have a wallet on there, that wallet, the keys are in that wallet. It's exposed to the internet. It's exposed to that device, that login settings. When you have a Ledger or a Trezor, you go to send a transaction, you have to connect the device and you have to sign the transaction. You're not actually signing it like a signature. You're digitally signing it. And you cannot send a transaction without that device and remember, those devices don't do anything except work with crypto. Work with those crypto, they're application specific devices. So they're not like computers where they're doing all this different stuff. They're very secure little devices. So I think if you have, you have over a certain amount of crypto, you need one of those devices. Exodus Wallet's a great place to start, great place to practice, great way to get used to a non-custodial wallet, sending money around. I'm not saying don't keep money in Exodus Wallet, but don't keep your family fortune in there. Don't keep your life savings in there because that is a risk. If you have Exodus on your phone, I'm putting a warning out there to everybody. Exodus on an iPhone, I'm not sure about Android, but on an iPhone, it backs up to the cloud. So if somebody hacks your phone and clones your phone and loads up another phone, your Exodus wallet, they do not need the seed words. It loads right on there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so be very careful about using Exodus on mobile. If you like Exodus Wallet and you love that experience, get another set of seed words and use that for a very small amount on your phone. And you can go in the settings of your phone and make sure it's not, but most people aren't going to know to do that. And then with the phone's updating, it resets the settings a lot. And also too, what if someone clones your phone and before they if they hack into your Apple ID, they can just go into the settings and say, hey, change that feature before they copy your phone. So you definitely don't want to be using Exodus on your phone that has a lot of crypto in there. It's not safe. It's not secure. And again, it's a wallet that when you load up a new phone, it loads right on there. Your crypto's right on there. No seed words necessary. No seed words needed. You don't even need a PIN.
That's scary.
Because the PIN's local to that device, and it's going to say, please set a PIN. And so
anybody could just copy your.
Yeah. So just a few things. And also too, don't go giving your phone to the phone store where you got your screen fixed. You go get I watch how these places operate. They say, what's the PIN for your phone? You give them the PIN for your phone, right? Now, most people will use the same PIN to get into apps that they use to get into the phone. So now the kid at the phone store is in your phone. What if he knows about crypto? He says, oh, they have Coinbase. Oh, they have this. Oh, they have Exodus. Great. Perfect. Oh, wow. They got half a Bitcoin in there. This is awesome. That's 18 grand. Would you give the kid at the phone store $18,000 cash and just leave it there and walk away? No. So you got to really think about this stuff when you go to give your phones to these places that they have everything. They have your authenticator app, the codes, the backup codes that are coming in, your email. They have it all. They have it all. So you really got to be careful with those places. You're really careful. If you need to get your screen fixed, your screen's broke, you shattered it, please transfer all the crypto out of there. And I would
start a new wallet.
And I would actually go as far as have new wallets, because what's to stop somebody from saying you have a crypto wallet on your phone? They're fixing your phone, they fish around on it, they go in there, they go into that crypto wallet app, and they get your seed words out of there, and they wait. And now they create another wallet on another device, and they just sit there and cyber stalk you, and they wait until you send Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum or any crypto to that wallet. Now they say, wow, they just sent $10,000 to this wallet. I'm going to steal it. You'll never know it's them ever. They'll never get caught. And they might steal from you a year down the line, and you'll just,
wow.
Yeah. So
that's
just
really
tips out there, guys. You could ask me, DM me on Twitter. Please make sure it's the real Johnny Litecoin. I'm not going to reach out to you guys. You guys reach out to me. Make sure it's the right Johnny. Make sure, one way you could tell, make sure there's a lot of people that are mutually following both of us.
Yes. Yeah.
You see, hey, we have no followers in common, and you watch this show, you're going to know, well, that's probably not the real Johnny Litecoin.
Yeah. Make sure that at Lisa Mighty Davis is following at Johnny Litecoin.
Yeah. I'm not going to reach out to you guys.
Yeah.
Not that I don't like you guys, but I'm just not. So you guys reach out to me, ask me. And if you have a question or problem or just want to stay safe, I'll help you guys. I'll try to steer. And again, I'm not the end all be all of information. I'm just going to give you, from my experience, what I think is correct, but I might need to take it offline and go ask somebody else that knows that subject matter better. So you always want to have different resources. I know stuff, but you never in crypto want to say you're the expert. No one's the expert. There's always new stuff coming out. No one's the expert on everything. There's always people that know more in a certain area or subject.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, stay safe out there, you guys. The Bitcoin ETFs are coming, and, they say the high tide raises all ships. So see you next time.